Hey, Galia.
Hey Nadine.
Hey, so lovely to be here with you. Thank you so much for turning up to the Everybody Can sessions. Let's get 2021 WON. We first met through one of my, and yours, I'm sure, like our dearest friends, Darren Abrahams.
The best. Yeah, really, really wonderful, wonderful human.
He is
I
a
know.
he is such a beautiful human. We've had him twice on this Everybody
Oh,
Can sessions because he's just so amazing. You know, and wants to talk about high performance, and then another time to talk about the regulating of the body, which as because he specializes in trauma. But
yeah.
we were at an art exhibition, weren't we? And
Yeah. And yeah, we met and you said, I love your energy. And I was like, okay, this is going to be my friend. That's it. We're going to be friends forever. We were just clicked from the minute we met. It was great because it was really colorful as well. I think I was wearing something very colorful and it was just like, woo, yeah, we got on so well.
Yeah, and you do. You have a fabulous energy, and you're very colourful today in that lovely green as well.
Thank you. I did change, especially. I've got my posh earrings on as I dress up.
Well, we've got to have something to dress up for, haven't we, Galia?
I know. Do you ever I put perfume on? Do you put perfume on for video calls?
It makes you feel better. Anyway, hello everybody. I am Nadine Benjamin, and this is the Everybody Can sessions. Let's get 2021. I am a soprano, and I'm a certified high performance coach and mentor. I'm also an accredited NLP mind coach. So NLP, neuro, the brain, linguistic, how we speak to the brain, and programming, the paradigms or the patterns that we set up within the brain. And I'm here because I really we're in 2021, and even in these times, I just think there has to be a place where we all connect, but we also champion and celebrate. And today I have the wonderful Galia Orme with me. And we just wanted to share with you her experience. So, hi, Galia, how are you?
Hi, Nadine. I'm very well, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm brilliant, thank you. So good. So, how did you know, or how did you know that you were an entrepreneur?
God, I think I knew I was an entrepreneur years after I started my business. I think typically as a woman, you don't want to, you don't, I guess you don't shout about what you're doing, or you don't define it in the same way. But I always thought, oh, I'm a business owner. I started a chocolate company, but really I'm an entrepreneur because I created something from nothing, and I'm constantly adapting and evolving. So when I had to call myself an entrepreneur, it took me a long time, quite a few years into the business. But I started my business in 2009, so 12 years ago, and
Yes,
yeah, and
because there's all these different things, isn't there? There's entrepreneur, there's solopreneur, there's just all these different ways.
mumpreneur. I won an award as a mumpreneur, which is hilarious. But I think, yeah, these titles and names are a bit strange to me.
So tell me, where did you? Because I know you as the queen of chocolate.
Oh, great. Yeah.
The queen of chocolate. You've got this company. It's called CHOC CHICK. You know. So where did the love of chocolate come from?
Well, it came from my childhood. I can't remember a time when I didn't love chocolate. I'm originally from Argentina, and we moved around a lot. I always say the story, and I always say that I always say the story, but it's the film Chocolat, where she travels the world. Her mum traveled the world, and everywhere she went, she made chocolate. Well, that's kind of true for me. We traveled and lived in lots of different countries, and my mother always made chocolate, and it was for events, for birthdays. For one of my best memories is a birthday cake that she made. I've always been into music as well, and she made a complete orchestra cake out of chocolate. Every instrument was made out of chocolate. So chocolate has always been part of my life, of my childhood, and wherever we went, my mother always made chocolate for us. something, but I never thought I would work in chocolate or make it myself, because it's so complicated. It's not as romantic and easy as Chocolat, the film. It's much more complicated to make.
Tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, well, making chocolate there's a process called tempering, and I always say it's temperamental chocolate. You have to melt it, you have to cool it, you have to get the right temperature. My mum had a marble slab that she would move the chocolate around so that the crystals in the cocoa, because it's a mix of cocoa butter, cocoa powder, sugars. She would buy these buttons that she would then melt and mix. And they need to reform essentially, and they need to harden, and that's a real art, and it doesn't always work. So it wasn't often that we would be there watching my mother. I love how in Chocolat she just comes out with these beautiful creations. It's a lot of work, and it's a real expertise, and most chocolatiers train, and they're really, it's a real art form. So
yeah, because you go out to people, don't you? I mean, you go and actually source the chocolate. Yeah.
So for me, the thing is, so I guess maybe I'll tell you a bit about why I did it, or where it all comes from. Really, for me, and I've kind of worked in lots of different areas. I studied law. I worked in high tech. I worked with trafficked young women in Sussex, actually, when I did my master's degree in international criminal law, and but I never practiced it. I kind of did lots of things, but I don't think I ever found what I was supposed to be, or who I was supposed to be, or what I was supposed to do in life. I was quite good at a lot of things, but nothing was like, this is what I'm here for, this is what I'm meant to be doing. And I kind of left a job that I was well paid in Brighton one day, having, two things happened for me. One was my daughters were younger, Ella, Maya and Ella, the youngest, was at school, and I would pick her up after school, and I did a job in a company where, as a woman, I got flexible working hours. So I worked part-time, essentially, was paid a lot less than everyone else, but it was actually working full-time, and would rush off to collect Ella from school, or Maya and Ella from school, and would be out of the school gates with my phone, and just not seeing her. And there was one pivotal moment where I look up from my phone, we're in conversation with a client, a customer, and I can't see anyone. There's no one in the school. It's empty. I can't see Ella. And she was hiding, and she said, "Mummy, you're never here. You're always on the phone." And I just thought, that's it. And I have to stop. And it was also a job that I felt I was never going to progress any further. I was doing a lot more than I was being paid for, and I wasn't valued. And I just thought, that's it. This is not worth it. So the next day I walked into the office and resigned, not knowing what I was going to do. Had no idea, thinking, what am I going to do next? And a week later, I discovered raw chocolate making through a friend, and she'd been very ill. She was dairy intolerant, gluten intolerant, had to minimize her sugar intake, and she had gone on a course to make raw chocolate. And she showed me, and I was like, "Oh, this isn't the traditional way of making. This is, all you're doing is melting it." So I became obsessed. So I just bought the ingredients, and at the time, you could only buy it from a big distributor in the UK. So you had to, it probably cost me around £100 just to get the ingredients and everything. There was no easy way to make your own chocolate. And probably 3 months after I was making it non-stop, I mean, I'd be waking up in the middle of the night going, "Oh, what if I add cardamom and sea salt? Oh, what if I add," constantly thinking about, what if I add this to it? And I thought, well, nobody knows about cacao or raw chocolate, how good it is. I mean, 3 months on, I also lost weight. My skin was better. I had more energy. And it was all because I wasn't buying Cadbury's dairy milk bar that, I'd probably eat one a day. And I wasn't buying any chocolate. And because I was making my own chocolate, I knew what was in it. I was eating a lot less. I was making hot chocolate drinks. So, and learning so much more about cacao and chocolate. And it's a real superfood. It has so many nutritional properties. So those 3 to 6 months, I was just immersed in chocolate and understanding and learning about it. And I just thought, well, what if I create a company and sell a kit with everything you need to make your own chocolate at home? And that's how it started with my recipes. And I got the distributor in the UK to pack it for me in smaller quantities. And there's a lot of serendipitous moments and things that were meant to happen during my first year, when I set up the business, that kept reinforcing that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So yeah,
that's really finding your purpose through business, isn't it? Just keeping that one. You see the thing. You've said, I'm not doing any more of this job. You make a decision through a friend that you're just going to start your own business in cacao. I mean, lots of courage needed there.
Yeah, it's a lot of courage and maybe a bit recklessness about not thinking about it too much and just doing it. I think that you do need to be really courageous because and learn and be open to learning, because I didn't know anything. I didn't know about a food business, anything about food business. I didn't know anything about retail. So I was really open to learning. I think the one thing I knew when I set the business up was that I love chocolate. So I wanted to continue doing it. I knew it excited me and was something I was really passionate about. But I also, having had a background in human rights and in international criminal law, I wanted to make sure that there was no exploitation in the supply chain. So for me, it was...
How did you go about that, like making?
So that was the thing, is that you have to know where your products come from, and so many of us, we go and shop and have no idea what the supply chain is. And because I was from Latin America originally, because I could speak Spanish, I could go out there, and I just booked a flight. I actually went with my dad, and we went to Ecuador, because Ecuador is the country that has one of the countries that has the best cocoa. It's got an original cocoa bean that's been there since Inca, Aztec, Mayan times, and I went with my dad, which was really special. I have to tell you a really special and interesting story. Another serendipitous moment that I didn't know about. My family live in Israel and I live here. We're all originally from Argentina and South America, and my parents had lived in Venezuela for many years. So my dad was really keen to come with me, and I met him in Madrid. I flew to Madrid, he flew to Madrid, and from Madrid we flew to Quito in Ecuador. And on the flight, the entertainment system didn't work, so there was nothing else to do but talk, other than sleep a bit. So I got to spend 10 hours with my father and just talk and talk and talk. And at one point, he said to me, "My father would be so proud that we're doing this." And I'd never met my grandfather on my father's side. He died, when my father was a teenager. And I said, "Really? Why?" And he said, "My father used to work for a chocolate factory." So no, and I never knew that. So he used to work for Chocolates Noel, the first chocolate factory in Buenos Aires. So it's like Willy Wonka's, it's like, and he was a driver, they were very poor, and they lived in a very simple, quite very poor existence. And my father said that the only time they ever had sweets was at Christmas, when every employee would get a bag of chocolates from Chocolates Noel. Noel is, and so it was such I couldn't believe it. I'd never even knew that I had this family connection to a chocolate factory, and here I am with my own chocolate company. So it's really, really special. So we went to Ecuador, and that's where I wanted to have the direct link. And so because I can speak Spanish, because I can connect directly with the producers, I went out there. I went and met cooperatives. I learned about how it's produced, where it's grown.
No, please. We'll come
yeah, sorry, I'm like distracted.
You carry on.
yeah. So I kind of really learned as much as I could, and it was from going out there and meeting people and learning how cocoa is grown, how it's processed, where the factories where they're then turned into cacao butter, cacao powder, cocoa mass, all these different. I mean, I really didn't know much other than that I loved chocolate. And over the years, I've gone regularly, and I know we do. I've got WhatsApp calls, with the farmers. They're friends with me on Facebook.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, so it's
really kept these relationships. Hugh Clifford here is just saying, "Hi, Nadine and Galia, and the brave switch into Galia's completely new venture is inspirational and good to hear during these uncertain times." Absolutely. Thank you, Hugh. Lovely to hear from you, and lovely to have you here. But yeah, it's really your integrity is what I love hearing right here, is the fact that you went and to speak with the farmers and to speak with the chocolate factories. So you really knew that when you were selling your product, that it was coming from really good hands.
Yeah, absolutely. That was for me the most important thing. I wanted to do things differently. I wanted to do them as ethically as possible. And even as a small business, it is possible to trace your supply chain, to go all the way, even if you don't speak the language, or, there's so many ways that business owners can actually go and learn and ask questions. It's constantly asking questions and finding out, where is this coming from? Who's producing it? How are they producing it? But I like to go there because I like people as well, and I love, connecting with people. So that was another, I think, thing that I discovered that I was really good at. I've always been good at that, but it was something that is part of my business, having that connection through the products I make, but also directly with the producers, which I know I love. I've gone to factories and worked with the factories in the factory making the cocoa powder, making the cocoa nibs, like where they extract them, everything, and spend a week working with people, having lunch breaks with them, having a laugh. For me, that's the best bit, learning about their children. And that's I've been really fortunate, really fortunate.
So you've been talking about finding your purpose through business. Has your purpose changed as you've gone along?
Yeah, I think it's been enhanced, or it's been shown to me. I mean, I didn't know what my purpose was before, obviously. So every step of the way in this journey of my chocolate journey, or chocolate business journey, I've learned so much, and I've learned, like I was saying, how my connection with people is so important. That's part of my purpose. Things that I didn't realize. So, and there are so many ups and downs in business, and so many things that you need to learn and that you don't. I've made every mistake possible, absolutely every mistake possible in business. But that's still part of my purpose. I've learned so much about it, about running a business, about creating products, about packaging, it's a constant learning. And I think for me, learning and growing is my purpose as well. It's evolving.
So even are you okay talking about a little bit about what's happened to your business in these times and how you've dealt with that? Or
absolutely. I think it's
what you can, just speak to what you can.
No, I think it's really important to be open, because although I'm always happy and I'm a really positive person, it's tough, and it's tough for many small businesses and big businesses. We're hearing of so many businesses closing and not surviving these times, and it's hit us hard. We've been hit not just by the pandemic, where we've lost nearly 80% of our sales, 75% of our sales, like that. We've also been impacted by Brexit. And I really want people to know this as well, what the impact, not just of the coronavirus, but of Brexit has been for small businesses. We were selling direct to Europe, and since January we are unable to sell direct. It's too complicated. It's too expensive. And we actually got an email. I got an email at the beginning of January from one of our biggest retailers who we sell into 200 stores in Holland, Belgium, Luxembourg, saying, really sorry, we're delisting your products. We just can't continue ordering from you because it's too complicated. Brexit is making it too complicated. And also the pandemic has caused a reduction in the sales. But I know that, lots of companies are not selling the way they were before. So it's Brexit. It's really if we didn't have the complications caused by Brexit, the extra costs of shipping and delivering products to Europe, we would still be supplying 200 stores there. So it's been one knock after the other. This last year, it's been really difficult. But again, I'm constantly being reminded of my purpose. And my purpose will be changing as well. I'm recognizing now that I've learned so much in these 12 years, and I know so much about ethical sourcing. I know about product development. I know about marketing and selling into the European and the UK market. I mean, I've learned so much, and these are skills, and this is a continuation of my purpose. And this week I finished a series of workshops for cocoa farmers in Colombia. And that was just phenomenal. I mean, I never would have been able to do that 12 years ago. I'm now an expert.
Yeah.
I never thought I was an expert in anything. I was kind of good at lots of things, but I'm actually a chocolate expert. I'm a cocoa expert. And it was really rewarding to, again, even though I couldn't physically see them, meet with the farmers on Zoom and talk to them and explain to them what products are in Europe and how they could improve the production and their products that they produce and how they could sell directly. And so that, that's a continuation of my purpose. And
yeah,
I really love that.
I really love what you said at the beginning of this chat about, that us as women, we never really say, oh, we're really good at this, but I really hear from you. What I really hear from you is these incremental steps that make momentum.
Yeah.
And I feel the same about being a coach. And I've been a coach for nearly 15 years when I think about it now.
Wow.
But it was just like incremental steps. I didn't kind of go, oh yeah, this is what I'm going to do, because I wanted to sing. Like, my desire was to sing. So that thing of, but I never shouted from the rooftops. And it's only this year, actually, that when I think about, I was thinking about, I love this championship and I love this celebration. And I was just thinking to myself, well, actually, I'm going to celebrate what I do. Yeah. And, celebrate.
Of course.
I love to sing and I love coaching and I love mentoring people, and it makes me come alive. And, it doesn't exhaust me. It gives me energy. It fills me up. And I love seeing the transformation in people. And that's what I hear with you when you talk about the chocolate and you talk about how the relationships around the chocolate are built, and but you're not afraid of the challenges and the courage steps that needs to be taken.
I mean, I think that is the challenges are huge, but there's always challenges in business. That's the issues that you never know what's around the corner. From this morning. We're repacking and launching a new product. The machine at the factory broke. So there's constantly something. Everything that can go wrong goes wrong. So you learn how to adapt, how to find solutions. I'm constantly problem solving. But actually, like you said, you get it. You feel alive. You feel, it's not always joyful and easy, but at the end of the day, when you do achieve what you want to achieve, when you do find the solution, solve the issues, that's another thing that builds you up, that builds me up and makes me think, okay, I am an expert. I do know what I'm doing. I think so often you go through life thinking, most of my life, I felt like I haven't got a clue what I'm doing, what's going on. I'm just winging it most of the time. And I think when you find whatever it is you're supposed to be doing, you stop winging it. It's kind of.
Absolutely, you're in your absolutely. I'm surrounded by female business leaders right now in my life. I'm from just female leaders in general, and what I really notice is that when we are in our axes, we are on fire. And I've noticed that, and I'm surrounded by female women that are just, in this space at the moment. One of these women are on here at the moment, Julia Erdel. She's saying, "You're an amazing woman, Galia. Keep it up. We need more people like you in business, operating from the heart. Such a lovely human, and Nadine, you totally rock." Julia is a great chef. She's got this whole thing around recipe for life. So she uses recipes to transform people's lives with food. And it just, so another really amazing female leader who just standing in her art. And you're the queen of chocolate, but she's the queen of transformation.
Yeah, well, we've got to collaborate, Julia. Let's collaborate.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is brilliant. And oh my God, the outstanding Lena Christmas, who's here, saying absolutely. So she's someone who is a woman of the earth. Her hands plant and look after the earth and the flowers that we see. You see all the squares that we see around Sussex. That's Lena. Like really.
Oh, Nadine, I've got this idea. We need to go out to Ecuador. All of these amazing women. We need to go to Colombia or Ecuador and go and discover chocolate, where it comes from, the origins on every level, from the nutrition to the agriculture. It's so life enhancing. I take everyone with me. We need to do a trip.
Absolutely. Hugh is saying, yes, Galia, when the world's ready and fully open once again, you will be back on track. Thank you, Hugh.
Thank you.
And my wonderful friend, Mike Bandoni. He's saying, yeah, lads, I eat a lot of crisps. Mega life changing at the minute. Can I tell you, Mike, I'm also eating a lot of Tyrrell's ready sorted crisps. So I'm with you on every step of the way on that one. Oh, you make chocolate.
Oh, CHOC chips. It's CHOC chick.
And then Julia is saying, would love some of Galia's chocolate now. Lena Christmas is saying, yes, let's go. And Mike Bandoni is going, chocolate? Go on then. Nothing less than 4-star, please.
Can I plug?
Yeah, please. That is the CHOC chip. I love it. I love it.
These are our quinoa pops, and this is fab because I made them in Ecuador and Quito as well, in this brilliant chocolate factory. It was so much fun to my recipe. And this is the plantain bites, but I wanted to have products that are native to the country where they're grown. So quinoa grows in Ecuador, plantain grows. I mean, when I'm there, I live off plantain. So this is a brilliant factory and high up in the mountains. And then we went and drove all the way down to the Amazonia, the Amazon, beginning of the Amazon rainforest, to source the cocoa as well. So everything is just so ethical and direct trade with these chocolates that are, we're going to be launching bigger sizes. So these are 30-gram packs. So that's what's the machine broke that was packing it. We've got 60-gram bags are coming, and they're all recyclable paper as well. So
amazing, Galia. So tell us, what are your 3 tips for getting into business or being an entrepreneur? What would you say your 3 tips are?
I think number 1, perseverance, persistence. You've got to. You will have a lot of challenges, and like I said, everything that can go wrong will go wrong. So you just have to persist. You really have to persist. You've got to keep, finding solutions, keep doing things, because it is challenging. It is very challenging, and you have to believe in it. You really have to believe in what you're doing. And then the second thing I would say, which I think is actually probably the most important thing, is ask for help. I have received so much help in my business. I mean, I don't presume to know everything, and I'm always asking for help and questions because, somebody out there will know more than I do. So ask for help, and people are happy to help. The minute you ask them, they want to help, and it's I've had such good advice from so many amazing people along the way. So
I think
definitely
that second point, especially now, is really important, that we don't get into this shame mongering around asking for help, because we are really moving from the space from an I to a we, and that there are a community of people that are rising up in that direction to of service. And and it does take courage to ask for help. I'm not saying that it doesn't, but just understand that when you take that first step to ask for help, you're also not just helping yourself, but you will be helping somebody else.
Absolutely. But also people like to help you're giving somebody else purpose. That's it's a wonderful thing. I've really found that the minute I've asked, I've had amazing people come into my life to help. So yeah, that's one thing I've never been scared of, is asking for help. Well, maybe not for myself, yes, but for the business, there's but that's a good point, actually. And then the third thing is, you do have to love what you do. You have to love it. It has to light you up, like you said. You have to feel a sense of joy, even when it's a struggle. You have to, when you're able to talk about it. I mean, if I could tell you saw me before I put my makeup on and my earrings. I'd had a difficult day today with the factory and but being able to talk about, as soon as I talk about it, I light up again, and I know it's what I'm meant to be doing. And so yeah, you've got to love it. It's got to light you up. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Galia. We've got some more comments here. We've got Mike Bandoni saying chocolate and crisps, wicked, get some wine in there. Mike Bandoni says, if I'm going to Ecuador, I'll need some spending money too. I'll pack my trunks. But Lena Christmas is saying, oh, wow, chocolate and nature.
It is. That's... Yeah, I need to. I don't know if my photo on my favorite photo is me in cocoa plantations. It is nature, and the amazing thing about cacao and cocoa is that it's one of the most sustainable crops on the planet, because it emits carbon. It absorbs carbon rather than emits it. So it's so good for the planet. And where we've sourced from, the cocoa farm is always, it's not a single plant because it needs shade. So there's always banana, plantain, mangoes, oranges, coffee in the higher regions. So it grows, it's a companion, it grows with other crops and plants. So it's such a sustainable product, Coke chocolate. It can be when it's done ethically. So.
Thank you so much. I just want to, some other people who've been very entrepreneurial. We've got the Cock-a-Doodle-Doo. It's a children's book. It's called The Comical Cockerel by Heidi Villiers and Marjorie Uvery, both singers. So if we can support them in any way, it's a children's story. I love also that in this children's story that there is an opera singer somewhere. A singer, yes, a famous opera singer. Like, I love it. I love it. It's a great book for kids. So if you can support it, I think you can buy it on Amazon. It's called Cock-a-Doodle-Doo, The Comical Cockerel by Heidi Villiers and Marjorie Uvery. Also, we've had Mike Bandoni being very funny on here, and he's also come out with 3 singles. So support him if you can.
Oh, wow.
And today, one of my friends, Sophie, has also come out with a single today on Spotify. Sophie Langen. Her single is called Now and Then. Her single just came out today. Her single is called Now and Then. Sophie Langen. Lagan. I'll put the link in the chat. Just some artists that you could be supporting if you'd like to do that, because they found new purposes inside of this time, and it'd be really great if we could all support them as much as we can. Hugh Clifford is saying, chocolate. Can I ask for Galia's go-to piece of music? My other love. Yeah. No, but that's really good, Hugh. Thank you so much, because I always forget that Galia is a singer. on top of everything else. So, you've sung kind of like jazzy stuff, isn't
I'm
it?
a jazz. Yeah, well, I wanted to be an opera singer. You know, that's probably why when I met you, I was like, oh, I always wanted to be an opera singer. I don't have an operatic voice or range, and I did have singing lessons and trained for years when I was younger, and with an amazing opera singer. And she's like, darling, you're jazz. You're jazz. I've got the husky. So yeah, nice work if you can get it. Maybe that would be my
your favorite song, your favorite piece of music.
Well, I've got so much music I love. I mean, it's why I call the company CHOC CHICK, because I wanted to be a rock chick. I used to sing, and I've done lots of backing. I love doing backing. I'd much rather be at do the harmonies, because I can hear the harmonies. So I've always found that easy. So I just I would love to sing more, Nadine. You know me, I love singing, but it's I so connect with music, and I think, you know, like you, and we often talk about vibrations, and you know, there's vibration in music, there's vibration in food, there's a vibration in love and all that. So for me, it's all connected. It's all part of the same thing. But yeah, I'd love the fact that there's so many opera singers and singers connected to you, around you, because that's one thing I never say of myself, that I'm a singer. It's funny that
you are, like, you know, so that's you know, and all kudos to you. And Hugh, thank you for bringing it up. Hugh saying yes, that husky tone. Always good for a jazz voice, absolutely. But I just wanted to say, so can you give us the name of your website for CHOC CHICK?
It's CHOC CHICK, CHOCCHICK.com, CHOCCHICK.com.
There we go. So if anybody's looking for the website, I've just put it in the chat. Please support CHOC CHICK as much as you can.
Thank you. You know what, Nadine, if you put a discount code as well, if you put we just added a new one for 20% off on our newsletter. Let me just remember it. I think it's is it Feb Love? I think Love Feb. Or if you let me just find, is that too late?
It's all right.
I'll find it, and we can add it to it. Let me find the because we've got 20% off for February, so I'll add it.
Okay, and Julia Erdal is saying, woman of many talents. Well, definitely get some CHOC. She said she'll definitely get some CHOC CHICK. Lovely, thank you, Julia.
Thank you.
Well, that leads us into the weekend, people, to go into this wonderful weekend with a joy in our step. You know, remember, I've always said this since, I think we're nearly on show 100. I must check how many of these have we done, you know, and so we can actually celebrate. Yes. Oh, yes. And Hugh, thank you. Valentine's weekend. Hugh, do you want to come and sit here for me? I'd love to get you to do the show one day. I can't wait to meet that guy. So, so it's, you know, to remember that it's Valentine's Day and it's all about love. But remember, the love, you can also fall in love with yourself. You can also fall in love with a moment. You can also fall in love with the person in front of you that has been there and you haven't noticed them in a while. And you can also fall in love with your favorite food and your favorite movie. But just choose a moment this weekend to fall in love with you. Fall in love with the people around you, and fall in love with the life that you have, the breath that you have. And until then, until next week, thank you, Lena. Happy Valentine's Day to you too. Thank you. Until then, and until next week, where I'll have some more amazing guests with me next week. Thank you so much, everybody, for making tonight so amazing. Because the joy in here and the laughter is just fantastic. Thank you, all female leaders in general, from all walks of life, from every gender. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. Take care. And
bye.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Nadine. Thank you.
For an amazing chat session. It's been fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.